Chair, fellow speakers, no guests today, okay. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Well, that depends on who it is that's asking. At home, I'm Jan. Jan. And I'm Mum. Mum. And I'm the one the cat claws or stares at. She does, I've got photographic evidence. At the supermarket, I'm just another customer. At the doctor's, I'm just another patient. At church, I was just another sinner. At school, I was just another student. And as a child, I was just another child to be seen and not heard. You may be wondering where I'm going with this. Me too. So the point of this speech is that we often don't listen, and that can have consequences. You see, I have struggled for years to feel like I actually have a voice, that I have something to say. And yet when I came to write this speech, there was so much I wanted to say. I can't quite fit it all into 8 minutes. It feels like I lost my way. It feels like something went wrong somewhere along this life journey. Somehow I learnt that no one really wanted to know who I am or what I think. I learnt that no one really wanted to know how I am. I'm fine. I learnt that no one really wanted to help me or lift me up. At school, I learnt that the teacher only wanted the correct answer, just the one correct one. And how could I be sure that I had that? So I didn't offer it. During tests, the answers would simply flow out onto the page. It felt like there was no effort on my part. I loved reading, loved learning stuff, still do. So getting the answers right just seemed easy. But I couldn't share. People got bullied for being smart Alex, and I was already being bullied, so that was one answer I couldn't get right. I told the social worker that I was being bullied. She dismissed it, saying something about ignoring it. That makes sense, right? You just ignore people that are being bullied, being mean. I learned that it was obviously me, just being sensitive. What if somebody had been willing to listen? Could I have stood up for others being bullied? At church, I learnt to turn the other cheek. I learnt to love my neighbour. I learnt that even child abusers and murderers could go to heaven. They just had to ask for forgiveness. I learnt that some sinners would turn up every week, ask to be forgiven, and go home and do whatever they want, and repeat. And yet I couldn't do that. I had to be good. The commandments were clear. So I would worry about every word I said. I would worry about every action that I took, just so that I wouldn't hurt anyone. Because God was watching. God could look into my heart and just know. But I fell in love. I loved God, but God, I loved being with God. His attention made my heart beat fast. And that was noticed by the congregation. And then suddenly I was not good enough. Somehow I learned that I couldn't be in a relationship and be a welcome member of the church. Sorry, is this all right? You okay? A good, upstanding member of the church said so. But what if someone had been willing to listen? Could I have kept up the faith? doctors, I learnt that they're not there to listen, only pick out the clues that lead to a fix. A tablet, maybe. As a teenager, I suffered regular migraines. I told the doctor, but was only offered paracetamol. Simple fix for them, but not an answer for me. I managed, often taking a couple of days off work to be in a darkened room. The migraines returned with a vengeance when I was in my late stages of pregnancy. They were listening then. It was a bit of a worry when you have migraines and you're pregnant like that. But they did not seem to care about the fact that I was scratching so much. My feet were red raw. So itchy, it was ridiculous. I learned to diagnose myself, often giving them the answer, and look for the clues to support that. What if a doctor was willing to listen? Could I have taken better care of myself? So you see, we need to listen, especially to ourselves, without judgment. We need to listen especially to children and young people, without judgment. And we need to speak even when we think no one is listening, and especially when people are, without judgment. If someone had been willing to listen to me, who I am may be more confident. I may feel like I have a voice. I may feel like I have something to say.